Hey everybody, it's Tuesday, and you know what that means? That means I'm on Tumblr, and I'm back. Hello. Thank you so much for understanding that I had to take vacation last week. We had Thanksgiving here in the States, and so I flew home to Seattle, or a town outside of Seattle. But I flew home to Washington State to visit my family, and Sean came with me. We had a really good time, and thank you all for understanding, because I know that the internet never sleeps, and not everybody has Thanksgiving holidays, and but I have to recharge my batteries, right? And I have to take time off so that I can take time for me, and I can come back and keep doing this forever and ever and ever, okay? So, I'm on Tumblr, like I said. So if you ask your question using the hashtag KatieFAQ, I have 4 questions today, as well as a journal topic at the end, so stay tuned. Without further ado, question number 1. Hashtag KatieFAQ. My husband and I have begun talking about having our first baby. How exciting. I have chronic depression, often involving suicidal ideation and anxiety. Depressive episodes come and go over the years, and I worry that if we wait until I'm actually healthy, we may never have kids. Is having a baby a bad idea when you know you struggle with mental illness? I don't want my depression to dictate my life, yet I don't want to head into parenthood without considering the impact that it could have on our children. Thanks. This was a great question because I don't really talk about this stuff very often. And the way that I'm going to answer this is kind of like if you were in my office. We'd weigh in, right? We'd talk about the pros and the cons of what to think about and how to prepare. So I agree with you that your depression should not dictate your life, and it should not be something that you wait to be healthy about or wait to have happen, because mental illness and our different issues can come and go, like you said, over the years. And we may think we have everything under control, and then we don't. And then we may think that everything's out of whack and we start feeling better. And so it's something that I don't really like my clients to put life on hold for. However, there are things we can do to be proactive. For example, if you would like to get pregnant and you and your husband, it's something that you really want and you're ready for, because it's a big change, right? I want you to enlist a therapist and a psychiatrist as part of your team. And I want you to see them now all the way through until after you have your baby. Because a lot of people suffer from postpartum depression after the baby, because as we know, our hormones change a lot when we're pregnant, and they kind of feel all over the place. People cry when they don't even know why they're crying. They'll be mad when they don't know why they're mad. It's almost like PMS extreme, maybe. But so you want to make sure you have people on your team, on your side, who know what you're like before you're pregnant, know what you're like when you're pregnant, and they can help you afterwards, so that we make sure that everything is healthy and happy and great with your baby and you. And also, it'll be good for you to start thinking about and talking about being a mother and what that means, and maybe even working with your husband. I mean, everybody has their own process, and I think having a team together will really, really help with that. Also, because you're saying what impact it could have on your child, we are going to pass on good and bad genes to our children. It just is part of the whole fact of being a parent. And we all have good and bad things about us, things we don't like and things we do like. And I would not let that discourage you from having a baby. The great thing about being aware of our struggles is that we've learned we can pass that education on to our children, making sure that they have good coping skills in check. We can talk openly about how we're feeling, if we're feeling down, and just starting that conversation early so that it's more normal for them to talk about it and to cope with it and get over it, versus maybe some things that we would have done where we didn't know what to do and we ruminated on it and we stayed in our rooms and turned off the lights or whatever. So yeah, I think having a baby, if you're ready and that's something you want, go ahead, go for it. Let's just be prepared, and let's make sure we have our tools in place, okay? Question number 2. I'm recovered from bulimia. I don't weigh myself, but I know, all caps, and feel that I have gained weight. I want to lose a few pounds, but I'm scared that I'll relapse. My thighs are so fat. I don't want to count calories, etc., but I need to lose weight. How? I get these questions all the time. Now, first of all, if you haven't weighed yourself, you don't know that you've gained weight, and you shouldn't weigh yourself. And trust me, that eating disorder voice is getting louder, and it will always tell us that we're fat, we've gained weight, we're so big, we're bloated, my stomach, my thighs, my blah, blah, blah. It'll go crazy on us, right? Don't believe it. It's lying. No. And the only way that I'll ever allow my clients who say, I really would like to eat more healthy, I need to gain weight or lose weight or whatever, blah, blah, use a dietitian or a nutritionist, set up an appointment, work on a meal plan, and make sure that your body's getting the nutrients it needs. Because the thing is, when we're recovered from an eating disorder, it's a slippery slope. And I have had more clients that I'd like to count go on a diet that turns back in their eating disorder, and I have to send them back to inpatient and they have to go through it all over again. So just be very, very careful. I know you're feeling really fat, but I would also think about what's going on in your life right now to stress you out, to make those feelings so intense and so heavy on you so that you feel like you need to start dieting. I am a firm believer in intuitive eating. If you haven't picked up that workbook, it's in the widget at the bottom of my website, katimorton.com. I would grab that book because we should be able to eat when we're hungry, stop when we're full, and live healthy, happy lives, right? And I am a firm believer in that. I don't diet. I don't do it. Okay. Question number 3. Can you explain the difference between bulimia and anorexia binge-purge type? I get so many questions about this, and I actually talked about it before, but I'll say it again because everybody wonders and worries, and the only difference, unfortunately, is weight. If we are less than 85% of an ideal body weight, and that is something that has to be determined by a doctor or a dietitian, then it would be anorexia binge-purge type. Bulimia is when we don't meet the weight criteria and we're binging and purging. That's just what it is. That's what the DSM says, so that's what we have to follow. Yeah. But don't believe your eating disorder when it's saying one is worse or better than the other, because that's just not true. They're all the same. Okay? Question number 4. What made you want to become a therapist? I'm sure somebody's asked this before, but I don't know if I've actually ever answered it. I knew I wanted to be a psychologist, is actually what I thought I wanted to be, back in high school. I've always been very, I don't know if level-headed is the right word, or just like mellow, like I'm consistent. Just keep it consistent. And so my girlfriends would always come to me, and I'd be the one that would listen to everybody, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed listening. I enjoyed taking into consideration all the factors and trying to help in the best way that I could. And so I was always interested in people. I found, I took like intro to psychology in high school, and I found, this sounds really bizarre, but I found mental illness to be very fascinating in the way that the brain works, and how as humans, our bodies are so adaptive and just amazing. The human brain is amazing. The human body is amazing. And so I really found it fascinating. And I used to want to be a psychologist, and then I want to be a psychiatrist. But then when I went to school and realized how expensive school was, and I paid for it myself, then I realized I didn't want all those student loans. And so I decided that I'd get my master's in clinical psychology. And here I am today. Ta-da! So yeah, I guess that answers your question. Now, the journal topic for today, because it was Thanksgiving here in the States, and I know Canada's was in October, and I'm sure all of you have a certain version that you do within your country, but I want you all to take time to think about what you're thankful for. Now, these can be big things. These can be like, I'm thankful for my family and my job and the fact that this thing happened to me and now it's amazing and I've been blessed, and whatever you want it to be. Thankful for your children, thankful for your husband or your loved ones. Or it can be just small things like I'm thankful for the air I breathe. I'm thankful I have clothes on my back or a roof over my head or whatever. Just take some time to think about things that you're thankful for. Maybe make a list and put it up in your bedroom or somewhere where you can see it so that you can be reminded about how amazing life is and how many great things we have going for us. Because oftentimes we get caught in this negativity cycle and we can't get out. So maybe use that to try to stop the cycle and get us back, So that's it. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and I'll be on the website, katimorton.com, under community forums. You go down, you click on Q&A for videos, Q&A for videos is what it's called. I'll answer questions there, as well as under this video. So leave your questions below, or don't forget to like it and give it a +1 and all that stuff. And if you haven't added Google+, please do it, because when you leave comments, I can't reply, and that makes me sad. But I will see you all tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening. Bye!